All right, let's finish up the non-translated stuff and look at these ellipses here. Okay, now the rule with ellipses are that the equation has to equal 1. And since this equals a number, the first thing I'm going to do is divide everything by 64 and simplify those fractions. Okay, most of the time it will crisscross like I kind of mentioned in the notes, but if you take 16 divided by 64 in your calculator and hit math 1, it says 1/4, so it's going to be x squared over 4 plus y squared over, if you take 4 divided by 64, I'm going to bet it's going to be 16, but if you want to use your calculator, 4 divided by 64, math 1, and it is 1 over 16, and that equals 1. The big number tells you the a squared in the direction it will go. A squared is 16, which means a is 4, and it's underneath the y, so it's going in the y direction 4. Okay, so there's only, oh, I'm a liar. That's not y. Under the y direction, that means it's going, the stewie head is going in the y direction up or down, which means it can't be A or C, it has to be B or D. And it's counting, the scales here on 25s and this one's by 10s. Can you see that? So my answer, I can stop right now. The answer is going to be D. That's the one going up by 4. Okay, this one they're going to want to know all the pieces. We have to get it equal to 1, so I'm going to divide everything by 36, and that crisscross that I talked about is going to happen. So that's x squared over 4 plus y squared over 9 equals 1. They're asking me for the vertices. Okay, the vertices come from the big number. A squared is 9 here, and it is under the y, so a is 3. And in the y direction, I'm going to go up and down 3, and those are my vertices. Okay, so my vertices are 0, 3, and 0, -3. Okay. Now, where are the foci? Well, the foci come from C. Now, they didn't ask me for the co-vertices if I wanted to finish that up. They're going to be left and right too, because the B squared tells me where those co-vertices are. But C tells me the foci, and it's A squared minus B squared equals C squared. 9 minus 4 is C squared. 5 is C squared. So C is the square root of 5. It's always in the direction of the long axis. So I'm going to go up and down the square root of 5. So I'm going to go over 0 still, but I'm going to go up the square root of 5. Okay. And, oh, they do want to pick out the right graph. I kind of erase. Let's see what we got here. 0, 3, and 0, -3. Why would they go by 20s here? Okay, it's in the y direction, and it's going to be smaller. So the answer is going to be A. All right, this one is already kind of ready to go. So we're going to get the vertices from the big number. A squared is 16. It's under the y, so A is 4. And in the y direction, I'm going to go up and down 4, and that is where my vertices are. So we're looking at 0, 4, and 0, -4. And now they want to know where the foci are of this guy. I'm going to finish drawing my dots here. In the x direction, we're going 3 for those co-vertices. They didn't ask me that, but just so I can see what my graph looks like. Once again, we're going to do a squared minus b squared equals c squared to find out where the foci are. 16 minus 9 is c squared. Okay, so this time c is going to be the square root of 7. because 7 is c squared. I skipped a step, sorry. Square root of 7 is about 2.6 if I'm graphing it, which they didn't ask me to yet, but that's where they'll be. And they're on the long axis, so it's going to be like the vertices, but they want the square root of 7 this time. What am I doing? What? Okay. And we're going to find the graph. Okay, 0, 4, 0, -4 in the y directions. I just don't understand why they would have the scale like that. It's just ridiculous. So the answer is A. Okay. This one is hard. 9, I think you're going to ask me about. So I'm sure a lot of you should be watching at this point. You said all equals ones, but these aren't fractions. So you have to make them fractions, which is really freaking weird. So what we're going to do here, you're going to hate this, is you're going to change this 25 to 1 over 25 down below. And the y squared is going to be 1 over 4. Because if you divide by a fraction, it flip and multiply, that's actually what you have going here. So then the question is, which number is bigger? Well, the number that's bigger is 1/4. So a squared is 1/4, square root both, and you get 1/2 for a in the y direction. So I'm just going to go up a half and down a half. It's going to be this baby ellipse. So I'm going to go up a half and down a half. So 0. I want a fraction. 1/2. 0. -1/2. Okay. The foci then, this is horrible, comes from a squared minus b squared equals c squared. So we're going to take 1/4 minus 1 over 25 equals c squared. 1/4, enter, minus 1 over 25, enter, and then hit math 1 in your calculator. And you get 21 over 100. For c squared, square root top and bottom, and you get the square root of 21 over 10. Square root of 21 over 10, and that's going to be up or down because it's in the same direction as the vertices. So 0, comma, I don't even know. Let's see. Square root of 21 over 10. Oh. They don't want me to hit down arrow. What, I have to hit tab? There it goes. I don't believe this will be on your test. If this confuses you too much, you're welcome to skip this one. We're not trying to stress anybody out here. I don't know. What do I have to... That's weird. Oh, they liked it. Okay, and then here's my, now they give me itty bitty scale. It's in the y direction, we said, up and down a half in the y direction. Y direct, it looks like this one. Looks like this one. Yeah, I think it's D. Okay. All right, now this one, they're telling me where the foci are in the vertices. This is interesting. So if the foci are at 3, 0 and -3, 0, and the vertices are at 9 and -9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What they actually are telling me, they tell me what the a value is. So a is 9, which means a squared is 81. And they tell me that the c value is 3 and c squared is 9. They're also telling me it's in the X direction. So 81 has to be under the X. And there's only two choices that have 81 under the X. And now we'll do a squared minus b squared equals c squared to figure out what b squared is. If you add b squared and subtract 9, you see that b squared is going to be 72, and that's the other number. So it's D as in dog. Okay, so you just eliminate it to 2 and then use that formula to find the last guy. Okay, and then what's this one tell me? The foci are at 4, 0, and negative 4, 0. So that tells me that C is 4. And it tells me that it's going in the X direction. So the big number has to be under the X. X has the big number. Major axis is the long axis. If the whole thing is 14, each side will be 7. So it also tells me that A is 7. The big number is supposed to be under the X. So A squared is 49 has to be under the X. And I'm already done. My answer is B. And that's it. That's it for this. And then we'll do the translated ones, I think next week, because I think Monday's just notes.